Believe it or not, ice cream sandwiches are one of the best things that have been made in the history of humanity. I mean, nothing feels as heavenly as sinking your teeth into that perfect mix of creamy ice cream hugged by soft cookies. And the best part, they're absolutely as easy to make as they are delicious. Without wasting any time, let's dive into the magic recipe for these delightful ice cream sandwiches. First things first, it's important to note that there are two sides to the ice cream equation, the ice cream bit and the two cookie layers that hold it all together. So, let's break it down and give each hero its due attention, starting with the ice cream, which is kind of the OG of this whole shebang, because without it, we're just left with lonely cookies, and that's just a sad snack waiting to happen. To whip up this creamy goodness, you'd be needing the following ingredients: fat, which is usually milk or vegetable sourced, non-fat milk solids, sugar and sweeteners, flavors and colors, and finally, the secret agents, emulsifiers, and stabilizers. Now, each of these ingredients selected for the production of ice cream plays a starring role in terms of its final consistency and quality of the ice cream product. For instance, fat brings in that rich flavor and texture, and at the same time the quantity of the fat has to be regulated because it plays a huge role in determining the type of ice cream you'd like to make. If you're trying to make dairy ice cream, you typically need to have at least 5% milk fat, while plain ice cream can have 5% fat from any source. The types of vegetable fat most widely used are coconut oil, palm oil, and palm kernel oil, or a combination of these. Non-fat milk solids, on the other hand, are like the behind-the-scenes heroes in the ice cream world. They're the proteins, lactose, and minerals that bring a lot to the deliciousness table. You can think of the proteins as the architects, because they build the ice cream's structure and help in getting air mixed in during the making process. When it comes to sugar, it's not just a one-sugar show. Ice cream makers often blend a mix of sugars like sucrose, glucose, and fructose to hit that sweet spot in the final treat. But these sugars aren't just about taste. They actually play freeze tag with the water in ice cream by controlling how soft or firm the end product will be. Most ice cream also gets jazzed up with these additions to make it look as good as it tastes. Here, these flavors and colors can either be artificial or straight from nature. Think of it like a fresh bouquet of natural flavors and hues. And then finally, the emulsifiers are the ultimate mixers that mix all the ingredients together during the ice cream making process. They're like the magic glue that keeps everything perfectly blended. Stabilizers, on the other hand, are responsible for making sure air gets properly mixed in, because that's what gives ice cream its lightness and that oh so creamy feel. The ice cream journey starts with a milk road trip. Refrigerated tanker trucks roll in from the local dairy farms, carrying the precious cargo of milk to the ice cream plant. Once they arrive, this liquid gold gets pumped into massive 5,000-gallon storage silos, and it is then chilled at a cool 36 degrees Fahrenheit. And after this, pipes transport pre-measured portions of this chilled milk to the 1,000-gallon stainless steel blenders, where the milk is joined by its partners in deliciousness: eggs, sugar, and those special additives. For the next 6 to 8 minutes, the ingredients twirl and swirl around together, creating the perfect harmony that eventually will become the ice cream we all adore. After the mix is all blended up, it takes a trip through this pasteurization machine, which is made of these super thin stainless steel plates. On one side of these plates, there's hot water at around 182 degrees Fahrenheit flowing through, and on the flip side, our cool milk blend makes its way, and as they pass through, the water heats up the mix to about 180 degrees Fahrenheit, basically giving the bacteria the good old 1-2 punch and knocking them out cold. And then they crank up the pressure big time, up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. This turbocharged pressure pushes the hot mix through a tiny opening into another machine, which is called the homogenizer, a machine that is like a mighty piston pump. And inside, the mix gets pulled in on the downstroke and squished out on the upstroke. This intense process smashes those fat particles into teeny tiny pieces and ensures that they bond tightly with the rest of the mix. Think of it like a high-pressure party that turns everything into a smooth, creamy blend. And after the mix goes through its adventures, it heads back to the pasteurizer, and this time they get to enjoy a cooling spa treatment. On one side of these plates, chilly water at around 34 degrees flows through while the mix cruises on the other side. This cool water chills the mix down to a frosty 36 degrees. Once it is nice and chilled, it's off to the tanks of about 5,000 gallons. These tanks hang out in a room set at the same chilly 36 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. The chilly temperature allows all the ingredients to cozy up and blend together. Think of it like a meet and greet party where everyone finally gets to know each other a little bit better. Once the ice cream mix is ready to take on some serious flavors, it is pumped into the sleek stainless steel vats, each holding a whopping 300 gallons. That's 1,136 liters to be precise. of incredible potential deliciousness. And this is where the magic happens. Flavorings swoop in through pipes and join the mix, getting thoroughly blended. And now it's time to freeze things up. The mix zooms into these continuous freezers, and these beasts can freeze up to 700 gallons per hour at an icy temperature of about -40 degrees. While the mix swirls around in this frosty wonderland, air gets injected into it, and by the time it leaves the freezer, it's got that classic soft-serve ice cream consistency, a fluffy, dreamy treat ready for some serious scooping. Now that we've got our ice cream ready, let's jump right into making ice cream sandwiches. Ice cream sandwich wafers are whipped up using the classic ingredients that you'd find in a delicious chocolate cake. We're talking all-purpose flour, cocoa powder, a pinch of salt, granulated sugar, unsalted butter, egg yolks, and a splash of vanilla extract. First up, the dry ingredients like flour, cocoa, and salt are added to a bowl. They're given a good whisk until they team up into a smooth blend. Meanwhile, in another bowl, sugar and butter are added and mixed together on a medium speed for a few minutes using the paddle attachment. This lets them dance together for a few minutes until they're creamy and combined. Once the mixture reaches that perfect fluffiness, it's time to invite the egg yolks and vanilla to join the fun. And after that, the dry ingredients are carefully introduced little by little and are mixed in until they come together in a beautiful blend. After the dough has firmed up nicely, it's the perfect moment to roll it out and create the outer surface of the ice cream sandwiches. Starting off, a rolling surface and rolling pin get lightly dusted with flour. Then, each piece of dough takes a turn being rolled out into an 8 by 12 inch rectangle. When the rolling out of the cookie dough is done, the use of a ruler becomes an essential piece to nail down those precise cookie sizes that are needed for everything to fit together perfectly. In larger scale operations, cutting machines step in to speed up the process and ensure even greater accuracy. Moving on from the 12-inch side, the dough undergoes slicing into 2 sections, forming 6 individual pieces. Following that, each piece gets halved down the center, resulting in a grand total of 12 pieces, each measuring 4 by 2 inches. Next up, a fancy filling machine steps in, directing 2 rows of wafers towards an injection pipe just as they meet. The machine pumps in 1/3 of a cup of ice cream between the wafers and shapes it into a neat rectangle that slots perfectly between them. And get this, the whole magic happens at a whopping 140 ice cream sandwiches per minute. And as the sandwiches make their way into packaging, the filling stays ice cold from the freezing phase, so no worries about any meltdowns. The packaging system lifts each sandwich into its wrapper, neatly folding and tucking the ends, and then another machine counts them and neatly places them into boxes. Once sealed, these boxes head straight into a storage freezer, chilling at a -22 degrees. So there you have it, folks. Your yummy ice cream sandwiches are then transported into cold trucks to your local stores so that you can sink your teeth into this tasty deliciousness. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this.